Hi, how are you? I'm Jennifer Wagner with Collective Wellness, and this is a 30-minute yoga stretch fusion. On Thursdays, I release floor-only classes. Tuesdays is standing only. Please make sure to exercise within your ability, and if you experience any difficulty, please stop and seek a physician's help. I hope you enjoy the class. Hi, welcome back. This yoga stretch fusion class is done on the floor only. It's a combination of yoga styles and dynamic stretching. We're going to start by laying on the floor. So you're going to turn, if you have your mat, to the side. You're going to bring your elbows to the floor first, and then all the way down to the floor. Legs extended, palms open to the sky, eyes gently closed. Inhale and exhale. Allow the shoulders to relax to the floor, letting everything go. This is your gift to yourself. Inhale and exhale. One more breath, inhale and exhale. Go ahead into full body stretch. Arms up over your head, extending through your toes, your fingertips, reaching as far as you can. Inhale and exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale, your right knee comes in. Pull your knee in towards your chest. Inhale, open back up. And then exhale, switch. Alternating. So inhale when you open. Exhale when you bend and pull your knee in. Alternating legs. Again. One more time each. Don't forget to breathe. One breath per movement. Last time. And extend. Arms come down by your sides, bending at your knees. Make sure your toes and knees are straight forward. We're going to start with just a pelvic tilt. So your hip bones are going to tip back and then release. And tip back and release. So imagine you have a glass of water, and when you tip your hip bones back, the glass of water will tip over onto your stomach. One more time, this time hold. Bring your hands straight up to the sky. Relax through your chin. You're going to crunch up as the shoulders come off the floor. Chin away from your chest, relax the neck. And then we're just going to pulse up, little movement. Keep your pelvic tilt, warming up through the abdominals. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead and lower all the way down. Hands come down, release the pelvic tilt. Pelvic tilt again, this time into a bridge as you lift the hips up. Make sure the knees stay straight forward, right into the support on the shoulder blades. So we're not supporting on the neck, we're supporting the shoulder blades. And then we're going to lower our hips down and up. Again, make sure those knees are straight forward so we're not splinting out with knees. Working through the lower back, through the back, and might even feel it in the glutes too. So we're warming up our core first. Everything starts from the core. Inhale. Exhale. Come up and hold. And then pulse. Little movement. Just pulsing just a little bit higher. Knees are straight forward. 3, 2, and down. Good. Bring your knees in toward your chest. You can grab a hold of underneath or around. Pull your knees into your chest. A little back stretch there. And then just rock side to side. Inhale. And exhale. Center. Release the hands, come down back to the floor. You're going to extend the legs to the sky. You're going to bring your feet out wide. Bend your knees, feet come back together, and then you're going to go straight back up again. Out, bend, and back together. So we're going to warm up through the legs. Back is flat. This is like a breaststroke whip kick in the air movement. Toes are nice and pointed, nice and controlled. So we're using those muscles, warming them up, but working them at the same time. One more direction, this direction, and then switch directions and go out wide, up. And this time I want you to go a little faster. Don't forget to bring those knees out wide so your hips open up. Again. One more time. And release. Full body stretch. Extending the toes and fingertips. Arms back down, bending at the knees. You're going to open and close butterfly. Open and close. Bottoms of your feet come together. Get my leggings here. Back and forth. Feel this through the inner thigh and groin. Go ahead and open into butterfly. Bottoms of your hips together, or bottoms of your feet together. Knees open up. Feel this through the hips. Keeping your back towards the mat as much as you can. Inhale. And exhale. See how much you can just kind of release those hips. Open up to the inner thigh and groin. This will help later on when we're doing a hip series stretch as we start to loosen up those hips. Alright, bring those knees back together. You're going to turn towards the front. You're going to rest your head on your bottom hand, but I want you to make sure this elbow is forward so we're not straining the shoulder joint. And then your bottom knee is bent, top leg is extended. And then we're just going to lift up just a little bit at a time. Toes are pointed, your leg is straight out. So we're going to work through those hip muscles again. Good. Now we're going to go all the way up and all the way down. Plant your hand, help support. All the way up and all the way down. So we're working those muscles. And then we're going to start getting into that range of motion. So you're going to come up as high as you can. Grab a hold of your inner thigh or calf or even foot if you can get there. And pull up and out. Push the heel away. Letting go of your leg, you're going to lower down. And then little movements again. Good. And then raise a little higher. all the way up, and all the way down. All the way up, all the way down. Good. Keep those hips perpendicular with the floor as much as you can. Alright, come up and hold. Hand goes to inner thigh, calf, or even foot. Push the heel to the sky. Straighten your legs as much as you can. Good. Deep breath in. Hold that stretch. And exhale. Remember, you have your options. Good. Top foot lowers down in front. Bottom leg is extended out. Foot is flexed. Bottom foot is flexed. And then you're going to pulse up. So now we're going to get into the inner thigh. You don't realize how weak our inner thighs can get. You notice that when your knees splint out very easily, part of that is the weak inner thighs. They're not keeping those knees in. Okay, so you can go a little higher and pulse. 3, 2, and down. Good. Alright, we're just going to flip on over, coming on up, and then lowering down to the other side. Resting your hand below your head, so make sure your elbows forward so your shoulder's not strained. Bottom knee is bent, hips are perpendicular. Extend to the toes and pulse. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead all the way up and all the way down. All the way up, all the way down. Keep your hand there, support your body. Nice and controlled. So we're going a little bit faster than earlier, but I want you to maintain control still. Okay. One more. Alright, coming up and hold inner thigh. Flex your foot or calf, or grab a hold of your foot. Everyone's a little different on each side, so for example, I prefer my calf for this side. Inhale, push your heel up to the sky, exhale. Release, come back down, little movement again. Make sure the hips perpendicular, and then the leg is straight out. So realize I was a little off myself, had to correct that. Alright, a little higher. Feel that through the outer hips. That lactic acid building up. Alright, all the way up and all the way down. Check the hips. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. All the way up, foot is flexed. Hold on to your thigh, calf, or foot. Pushing your heel to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Bring your foot down in front. Straighten your bottom leg. Foot is flexed. Your bottom ankle is flexed. And then pulse up. Inner thigh. Inhale. And exhale. Go a little higher if you can. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Good job. Alright, you're going to roll over onto your stomach. We're going to go into a plank or hover series. So make sure your toes, which are under, are on your mat. I'm I'm going to be on my elbows so my forearms are down, but you're more than welcome to come to your hands. So you have the option of elbows directly below the shoulders or hands directly below the shoulders, okay? Make sure if you're on your elbows, your hands are straight forward, fingers flat. A lot of times people like to grab a hold of the hands, but then that turns the shoulders in, which we do enough of that throughout the day anyways. So coming up onto the knees to start with, and then bring the knees up off the floor if you can. But either way, if you see how my hips didn't move, my back stays nice and straight. Now I want you to pull your abdominals in and up towards your rib cage, activating your core. And again, you could always have one knee down or both knees off or down. But again, the tailbone stays straight with the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. Work the core, abs and back. Keep it going. Make sure those shoulders right above the elbows. Slide the hips back a little bit if you need to. And then lower the hips all the way down. Toes are pointed. You're going to lift your chest up and out. So hands, bring your elbows down if you were on your hands in a full plank. Lifting your chest up and out as you slide your shoulder blades down and back. And release. We're going to go into the seal stretch. This is another one that will help with the hip series because our hip flexors tend to fire up pretty easily because they're always so tight. So we're going to start with the seal. I want you just to kind of work those hips out a little bit. Let them go. And then you're going to press your chest to the sky. Hips stay down, so your hip bones are staying on the floor. Pressing your chest and your chin to the sky. Lifting up and out. Go up as high as you're comfortable. So if this is where you're at, that's okay. Go up as far as your back will allow you. Chest is lifted, chin is lifted. Make sure those hip bones stay on the floor. You can kind of let those hips relax a little bit. Go ahead and come down. Now we're going to bend the knees. Toes are pointed towards your head. This is where you're going to really feel those hip flexors and thighs. So come on back up. Lift your chest and your chin. You're going to feel the thigh muscles, the quads, and the hip flexors challenged and stretched. Inhale and exhale. Coming back down. And then we're going to sit back into child's pose. A little break for your back, a counter pose for your spine. So you're going to sit back, arms down by your sides as you lower your head down into child's pose. Stretch the back. If it's too much to lower your head to the floor, you can stack your fists and then rest your forehead. Whichever works best for you. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and curl yourself up. Press your spine to the sky. And then bring yourself to a seated position. So we're going to start with butterfly. Bottoms of your feet together. I want you to grab a hold of your ankles so you're not having a tendency to pull and create torque with the ankle. And then we're just going to rock side to side. Good. And center, and bring those knees up and down. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and drop the knees down. Chest is lifted. Crossing the legs over without them overlapping. So you make sure that both feet are on the floor and then both calves are on the floor. And then you're going to walk your hands out, sliding out as far as you can. Feel that stretch through the hips, through the back. Inhale, exhale. Walk your hands back. Switch your legs around. Walk it back out again. Inhale, exhale. Feel that through the hips back. Walk your hands back. Take your front leg, bring it around. You're going to hook underneath the hip. And then you're going to lift, keep the knee down as you lift your hip up and out and stretch through the hip flexors. So you're pushing hip up and out. You can always take a ball and put right underneath there. You can lay back a little further, challenge it. You can even come down to your elbows and push that hip up and out, pushing the knee into the floor. Inhale. Go into what works for you, for your option. Exhale. A lot of times when we're trying to stretch the hips out, those hip flexors, if they're really tight, they're going to fire up right away and they're going to restrict you from stretching the other muscles. So we're going to stretch those out right now. Go ahead and release. You're going to take that back leg, bring it around, cross it over your other leg, your right leg. And then I want you to take your right arm, hook it around your left knee, and then you're going to turn to your left. Chest is lifted. And I want you to let your left hip drop down. Feel that through the hips, especially your left hip. Chest is lifted. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Release. All right, switch sides. Bring your foot around and behind. So hook that foot under so that your knee joint is hinging and the foot is under for that natural joint hinge. And then sitting back, pushing your hip up and out. And again, you can come down to your elbows as long as you keep the knee on the floor, pushing the knee to the floor. Which one works for you? Inhale, right through there, exhale. One more breath, inhale, exhale, release. Bring your right leg up and over your left. Take your left arm, hook around, chest is lifted, turn to your right, and let your right hip drop. It's very common to have that hip up nice and high and activate it too much, but we want to let it go. We want that hip to let go and stretch. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Butterfly pose again, bottoms of your feet. So as we start to repeat this series, I want you to be consciously noticing that those hips are starting to loosen up a little bit more. And each time we go through the next phase, should be loosened up even more. Go ahead, up and down. Make sure you're grabbing and hold your ankles so we're not pulling on our feet. Go ahead and cross the legs in front without overlapping. Walk your hands out as far as you can. Slide those hands away from you. Coming back. Switch your legs out and walk out. Coming back. Take your front leg, bring it around, hook underneath and sit back, pushing your hip up and out. Inhale, feel it through the hip flexors. Hopefully by now they're relaxing a little bit more. Pushing your knee into the floor. Alright, take your leg, cross it over. Hook opposite arm around. Turning to your left, and then let your left hip just drop down. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Switch sides. Hook around behind. Make sure your foot is underneath so you have that natural hinge. And then sit back as you push your hip up and up. Inhale. And exhale. Sorry, I will startle. There's some noise outside. Caught me off guard. Alright. Bring that leg up and around. Hook your arm. Chest is lifted, rotate. Let the hip drop down. Inhale. Exhale. Alright. Butterfly. One more time. This time we're just going to go into that holding stretch. Bottoms of your feet together, pressing the knees down. Chest is lifted. Good. And inhale. And exhale. And crossing over without overlapping. Walking out. This time you're going to walk your hands around to the side. Reaching. So if you're reaching to the side, the right side, you should feel the left side of the body stretching. And then walk over to the other side. Coming up, switch your feet out and sliding out again. Walk to one side. And switch sides, reaching as far as you can. Feel that through the opposite side of the body, through the ribs, obliques, back. Coming up, extending the legs out in front. You're going to flex and point. So you're bending the knees a lot when you're stretching. So I want to kind of get the back of those knees loosened up. Go ahead and flex the feet and sliding down. Good. Chest is lifted. Feel it through the back of the legs. Inhale. And exhale. See if you can go a little further. If you can grab a hold of your feet, pull again. Chest is still lifted. Shoulders relaxed. Make sure those toes are straight up. Push those heels away from you. Let go, and then toes pointed down, and then you're going to slide down, chin is tucked. Feel this through the spine, through the shins. Holding the stretch, inhale. Exhale, so you can go a little further. Sliding back. One more time. Sliding down as far as you can. Chin is tucked. Reach. Letting your back curve as you feel the stretch through the back of the neck and down the spine. Toes are pressed down. Feel that in the shins. And sliding back. Good. Cross the legs comfortably and nice and tall. Rock your head side to side. Feel up through the shoulders and the neck. Good. And then turn your head side to side. To the front. Nice and center. Tailbone up to the top of your head. Shoulders relaxed. Eyes gently closed. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Release through your body. Eyes released. Release your jaw as your teeth gently separate. Inhale, exhale. And slowly open your eyes. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale out. Again, inhale and exhale. One more time. Reach as high as you can to the sky, and then exhale, release. And then hands together and namaste. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the class. Come back again.